Usa ka pagtuo, usa ka tingog, usa ka katawhan. Cebu Catholic Television Network.
Maayong hapon. Welcome sa programang sa mata sa Kababayen-an. Mag-uban usab kita sulod sa sakatat na. Ug padayon mo pagsunod sa mga programa karon labi na karon kay ang una namong guest dungog ninyo ang iyang sharing nganong naa siya sa luing ug ang sa sunod nga mga segment mga foreigner ang among mga guest. So please padayon mo pagsunod sa atong programa. Ang akong unang guest karon amo ni siyang court watch monitoring officer sa luing, si John Mark Patso. Pats, mayong hapon.
Mayong hapon po.
Thank you for joining us this afternoon in this sa Matas Kababayen-an program.
Yes, I'm glad to be here. Then, so ako pala si John Mark P. Pacho. I'm a part-time staff sa Law Center Inc. Technically, I was an intern previously from January to March. Then they absorbed me noong April. So yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, Pats. Pats, anong course? Sorry, we have to speak in Tagalog and in English kasi Tagalog person ito eh. So, Pats, anong course ang natapos mo?
Graduate ako sa Southwestern University, FINMA, and my course is psychology. Yeah.
So, why are you connected with Law Inc. after your finishing your course at Southeastern?
Well, tinulungan ako ng isa kong friend na to get in touch with an NGO to help me with my internship. So, ang nangyari is, from then on, nung nagsimula ako, parang I really love the advocacy that they were trying to provide to women. Tapos, to the point na I kind of asked or like requested if I could continue my progress with them as an employee. Tapos, yan, they agreed.
So despite the fact that you are male and Law Inc. is more engaged in women, helping abused women, you still insist that you will continue your internship or your work at Law Inc.
Yes, that's the fun thing about it. Like, I don't want to say it's fun, but that's the challenge that comes being as a male counterpart, knowing that the women's that are coming to the office are being abused. It may be physical, emotional, sexual,
Psychological.
and also psychological. We still try to provide aid, and me being there to help them or give support by just attending a court hearing to support them. It's a really big step moving forward to show the women na not all men are actually bad.
And they're not alone.
Yes.
There are people who would like to assist them and help them.
Exactly.
When you join Law Inc., what were the tasks that they assigned to you?
Well, my basic job description is that I must attend at least a couple of hearings, check some feedbacks, see if some of the one of the court sessions are accommodating to the client, and what is the temperament of the court session. So if we can gauge on how to handle the atmosphere per court hearing, we could help our service providers provide a much more comfortable and seamless process in their hearings.
So, how do you know that these clients have this hearing? You go with the lawyer of Law Inc.?
Yes, from our service providers, I do ask one of our legal staff that sets the schedules when the hearings are being dated down on the calendar.
Schedule.
Yeah. Then from that point, I try to contact the lawyer, inform the lawyer that is it okay if I be present to observe as well as support the clients. And so far, so good. I've been able to attend at least 20 court hearings. Then the most recent one is with the Danish interns, where I had to officially request an audience wherein they're able to observe the entire process from the first case to the last case. And they actually allowed it.
But will the court allow you as a court watch officer in entering the court during the hearing? Because some courts, according to them, will not accept other people other than the clients and their lawyer.
It really depends on the severity of the case.
Yeah.
So usually I try to only attend cases wherein it only handles TPO and PPO. So that's like service level so far. But if the severity of the case goes beyond like rape cases, child molestation, abuse, they tend to be confidential about it, which they try to remove anyone that's not an immediate family to the client.
So what are your experiences as a court watch monitoring officer?
Well, the only thing that I could really feel strongly about is that there are court hearings where I have attended that the other how do I say this, the petitioner was able to attend. However, the one that's being accused, or the one that's being petitioned, the one that's being petitioned to
The respondent?
the respondent, the respondent is not able to attend, which delays the hearing.
Dear me.
Yeah.
What are the order of the court if the respondent does not appear and there are no valid reasons for their absence? Are they not cited for contempt? No?
They don't actually. That's what surprised me the most, is that if you attend other court hearings that's not in family court, they actually don't have any leniency, right?
Yeah.
But in family court, they actually have a lot of leniency, and the dates that they set is a little bit far apart. It takes months. If you're lucky, if it's days or weeks, but
months?
if it's months, there is always the notion that they may not show up on the second hearing, and even if the judge or sets a possibility of contempt, it takes a while because they get wiser, the responses get wiser. They try to elude the sheriffs.
And it might also discourage the complainant.
Yes,
Especially if
exactly.
they're residing in a far-flung area. But what are the courts? Where are the courts that you have appeared as a court watch monitoring officer?
Well, so far my favorite court to attend is from Kimonda.
Kimonda,
Yes.
for the Cebu City cases.
Yes.
How about in other, have you appeared in other courts outside Cebu City?
Well, I have traveled to Danao. That's the farthest I've ever been.
Danao.
But I haven't actually been inside the court yet due to multiple reasons, like first, there's no parking space, so I have to stay with the car. So there's a lot. Sometimes I'm late because of the traffic in Consolacion. So it's all a series of unfortunate situations for me not to attend. But for those that I've attended that's not in Cebu City, I probably would say Naga City.
Naga.
Yes.
So you have reached Naga already.
Yeah.
So there was actually hearing there.
Yes.
Now, these experiences, how does it shape your belief, and how does it motivate you in your advocacy for some causes that Blue Ink is fighting for?
Well, I'm not really, what's this called, how do I say this? I really believe that marriage is sacred, right? Like we have to respect that marriage between two people is sacred no matter what. However, there are circumstances where things don't work out as it was planned by these individuals, pero it doesn't give them the right to actually
Abuse, no?
abuse. Like, they know that the law won't pursue them to the full extent, right? So for the case for the respondents is that you're only in that situation because at that from a certain time on a certain point you decided to actually own up to your situation. Then when hardship comes, that's the only time you actually bail out, which is not good. So it's at this point you're not only thinking about your counterpart or your partner, you should also think of the family you've built.
Especially the children.
Yeah.
But for how long will you be in Luing? Because it seems that I were aware that you'll be leaving the Philippines and go to another country.
Yeah, so actually I was planning to stay for a year in the NGO sa Law Center Inc. However, due to circumstances with my own family, I had to cut it short to about 6 months. I actually would be leaving on October 28th.
For the US.
Yes, to the United States.
So, hanggang kailan yung sa Luing mo na work?
Technically, my last day is today. I just realized it.
So I think, thank you, na last day mo dito, nandito tayo sa TV. At saka na-share mo yung what are really the functions that you have done and anong naitulong mo sa mga kababaihan na victims of abuses.
Yes.
No? Parang emotional tayo dyan, Pat, no?
Actually, yes. Because like, joining the advocacy itself, like, you came in not for the income itself, the finances. You already know that it would not be that high than from a private sector, right? So, yeah, you came in for the passion to support the advocacy itself.
So when you'll be going to the US, you'll be working?
Yes, I will be working. It's so far from what I've graduated from what I'm doing right now. Actually, I'm gonna be a construction worker. So
who is in US? Your dad, your mom?
It's my dad.
Your
Yes.
dad. So hopefully we can see each other when we will be there.
I hope so. I hope so.
So we will say have a safe trip, and we are so thankful about your service at Luing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Marami po kayong natulong, Pats, no? So before we will end this first segment, I would just like to inform our viewers that we will have another set of guests. And by that time, you will no longer be our guest, but you will be my co-anchor.
Okay.
Okay, sige. Mubalik ang sa matas kababayan-an humaning pipila ka pahinumdom.
Discover the beauty of the Philippines. With Philippine Airlines, the country's flag carrier. The airline that lets you feel the warmth of the nation. Mabuhay!
For your internet connection
And for the signal of your cable TV.
so fast and straight, the transmission to your home. Sini Cebu,
Television Network Incorporated offers fiber to the home broadband internet bundled with fiber to the home cable TV connection. Cine Cebu Television Network Incorporated with its operation in Metro Cebu and the whole province of Cebu soon.
For your internet connection.
And for the signal of your cable TV.
So fast and straight that transmission to your home. Cine Cebu offers you to have fiber optics.
For your viewing experience, perfect and clear so far.
So great and affordable for you to enjoy. Heal me, O Lord, and I will be healed. Save me, and I will be saved. Heal me, O Lord, and I will be healed. For you are the one I praise. You are the one I praise. Sing it with me. Heal me, O Lord, and I will be healed. Save me, and I will be saved.
Balik na sa programang sa mata sa kababayan. Mga viewers, you have seen this now. Ang among mga guest karon, mga look, they are foreigners. But they are also interns at the Loeng Center. So please, maminaw mo sa ilang ili nga share ngano nga niya sila sa Pilipinas, ngano nga ang Loeng ilang gipili because they will explain kung sa may mga katuyuan nila. So please continue by following our program. Allow me to introduce our new guest karon, no? I will first introduce Anna Sophie Beck Hartbigsen. Hi, Sophie. Thank you for guesting our TV show.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And the next guest is Caroline Lynn Mogensen. Hi, Caroline.
Hello. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Yeah. And the last that not the least is Ida Christine T.M. Hansen. Ida, good afternoon also.
Thank you
for
very
visiting
much.
our show.
Thank you for having us all.
Okay.
Thank you a lot.
So, take a look at them. Okay, first question I will ask about you is that, from what country are you from? Is it okay?
We're from Denmark,
Denmark.
and we're living in the capital, Copenhagen. And we're doing our studies there too at the University College Copenhagen.
Copenhagen. Now, first, Anna Sophie, I will ask this question. Why did you choose to do your internship here in the Philippines?
I choose it because the nature is very different in the Philippines. Because in Denmark, it's the country is flat, and we're not having any earthquakes or typhoons. And since my studies is about disasters and risk reduction, it's very interesting to experience how you're handling these disasters in the Philippines. And nextly, I think it's very interesting to be in the Philippines because, it's just another culture, and it's very meaningful for my studies too. Yeah.
Okay. Caroline, why did you choose Law Center Inc., where you have to undergo your internship? And what is the topic that you want to be engaged at Law Inc.? Is it abuses of women, or I think it's risk and reduction?
Yeah, it's primarily risk because our study is called emergency and risk management.
Mhm.
So it's like the risk management part of it. So we are connected to another NGO who put us in contact with the Law Inc. And yeah, it was very interesting for us to see how you are handling, yeah,
Yes,
The-
disaster. Ida, why is it that this is more about disaster, your internship? Law Inc. is not involved in disaster, but we are more on women's abused by their partners.
Yes,
So why you still insist that you will be at Law Inc.?
it's because when a disaster happens, it will affect the people. And for us working with disasters, we have to learn how to work with people, with their mind, with their bodies, know what to say, know what we don't need to say. And that's the same you do in the Law Inc. You work with the human and how they are affected, and you know how to take care of them and help them through the disaster they have been through. So we're not exactly doing the same, but we're all working with the human behind the disaster. And that is why I think it's important to be here in the Law Inc. Because we need to learn how to talk to the people we may help.
So do you consider abuse on women as part of disaster or risk?
Maybe not the abused women, but
Uh-huh.
but when a disaster happens,
How do you
it can affect people a lot. They can maybe lose their family, their
Yeah.
children, lose body parts, maybe or just mentally. It will affect them a lot. They maybe do not recognize themselves after a disaster. So in that way, we want to learn how to communicate with the people and what to do when we have to take care of them and their minds. Yes.
So that's a good part of your internship choosing Law Inc. So we are thankful about that.
Yes.
But you can ask now the
Following question.
following question.
Sure. So, okay. Sorry. So, to follow it up, since you've picked the Philippines as one of your internship programs, right? You're tied up with a lot of different NGOs, organizations to better understand your course itself. However, the main question is that what's the difference on how your country or like how Denmark itself handles a disaster if it ever occurs, and how does it compare itself to how the Philippines handle the disaster itself? Like, I believe you've been exposed to a lot of the seminars from different organizations on how they do their risk reduction, how disaster is being managed, and how far is it different from how your country handles disasters?
Shall I answer? Overall, there isn't that big of a difference between Denmark and the Philippines in how they handle disasters. We are built up in the same way. You have the LGOs. We have also LGOs in Denmark in every city, every capital, who takes care of the local disasters. I think the biggest difference is that we don't really have the same amount of disasters in Denmark as you do here in the Philippines. So you're a lot more busy. In the Philippines, you need a lot of staff and a lot of LGUs all around to take care of the disasters. So I believe that's the biggest difference between Denmark and the Philippines. Yes.
Any share from you?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, also agree.
Yeah.
Big difference?
Yeah, there is a big difference in the disasters.
You don't
and-
have suffered so much about typhoon?
No
We
typhoon.
don't have
Yeah,
typhoons, we don't have earthquakes,
Like
we
huge
don't have
flooding.
floods,
Yeah.
and we're just a flat country which don't get exposed to disasters the way you do here in the Philippines.
Yeah. That's why it's interesting for us to also, get the experience from you guys and how you're gonna handle disasters. Yeah. Yeah.
Very recently, we have been undergoing several calamities. Typhoon, flood,
Yeah.
earthquake,
Yes.
even our volcanoes.
Yes.
In Kanaon, now at Limayon volcano.
Yeah.
So, first example, if you choose the Philippines, you can at least take a look of what's going here in our country.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Compared to your country.
Exactly.
There's
Yes.
more that we can do, that we have to do.
Yes. Because of the global warming,
Yeah.
we have to be more prepared in Denmark.
Yeah.
Like you're always prepared for a typhoon and stuff like that. Now we also have to be prepared for heavy rains or floods, and yes, so we can learn a lot from you here in the Philippines.
Thank you for that. Okay. So far, have you been involved in any disaster response during your internship here? About
We have actually, we're connected to an organization called IROF,
Europe?
where we have been going on the emergencies when there has been a call, actually. Haven't joined like a huge disaster.
Yeah,
But
some
it was-
traffic accidents.
Yeah, traffic accident.
So you have already done that?
Yeah, we were, yeah.
Yeah, we have.
And then we joined some trainings, different places in Cebu, where we saw how you are preparing for floodings and how you're going to rescue people. Yeah, if it's
So
going
that
to
also
happen.
includes traffic accidents or traffic incidents in your response as part of your disaster internship? Like a response from Europe?
Yeah, with Europe we have seen the traffic accidents with the ambulances we were going with, and it's interesting for us to see how they are handling this, because in the Philippines there is a lot of traffic, and that can be difficult for the response time. And it's a bit different in Denmark, and then
No
it's
traffic problems in Denmark?
there is some traffic problems, but not the same traffic problems. It's different, and then it's so interesting to see how they are handling here and how we are handling it in Denmark, and then we can, look at them and learn from that.
So apart from these traffic accident or incidents, about typhoon, have you accompanied rescue or response?
I have mostly been on the trainings where we did some mountain search and rescue.
Oh, did you?
Yes, for rescuing people. Yes, in the mountains. We have also been to water swift rescue, where we saw how they rescue people from the lakes. And the interesting part for us is to see how they do the training, how they manage the training, what they talk about after the training. Was it good? Was it bad? What could we do better and worse? And yes, so it has been very meaningful for me, especially to join the trainings. We'll also have a training next week with the earthquake training.
And also because a big part of disaster and risk management is how you prepare for a disaster. And the training is a big part of the preparation. So when a disaster will hit, you are ready and you know what to do.
Yeah, especially if there's earthquake.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So it really helps that you guys have a fresh pair of eyes to see how things are being handled, because no matter how prepared
And it's still compliant.
it's still hard, because a fresh pair of eyes, a fresh set of individuals to help can make a big difference, right? So speaking of the incidents you've been noticing, like the traffic incidents, joining trainings, what do you think is one of the challenges that you noticed from our risk management departments? What do you think what else could they improve? Like personally, from your own knowledge, theoretical, what could it be applied in a practical setting? Like, do you have any suggestions you want to share? Talk about something? Yeah.
Would you like to go?
It's a good question.
It's a very good question.
engage our members of our rescue team because sometimes it's very difficult for them to respond.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest problem that we have noticed is actually the traffic. Unfortunately, because it really slows down the responders when they're stuck in traffic. In Denmark, there's really a respect when an ambulance is driving with the siren. Everyone is going to the side. Everyone. So they can just go ahead and drive to the accident. And we notice it's not really the same here in the Philippines. The response workers having a lot of trouble coming through.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that's actually the biggest problem. It's the traffic. Yes.
Because in rest, immediate response should be done.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But there are not many use of motorcycle in Denmark.
No.
Here, plenty of motorcycles.
Yes. Exactly.
So they will be.
Yeah.
Yes.
So many motorcycles. Yeah.
I really like your country because I was also there. I was able to visit Denmark.
Yes.
Yes, Copenhagen.
Is it a long time ago?
Yeah. It was Eastern Europe tour.
Okay.
It was Switzerland, Germany, then Austria, and Poland,
Nice. Yes.
and then Czech Republic.
Wow. Yes.
That I really like it. My goodness, how can the Philippines be like this country? So we're happy that you're here, so you can compare your country with us.
Of course.
But that's a problem.
Yes.
No immediate response can be given because of the traffic.
Exactly.
And that's why there are several traffic incidents.
Yeah.
Like in Denmark?
No,
here.
no traffic incident in Denmark.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
there's.
we have a lot of that.
Yeah.
But I talked to in Balaban. I talked to a man, and he said the biggest issue is the traffic incidents. Yes, unfortunately.
That's your challenge, the delayed response
Yeah.
because of the traffic.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
So, any suggestion?
That's a really good question.
Practice in your country, what will be your suggestion to add to that challenge that you have met?
It is a good question because
So that you can learn so much.
yes,
And probably there will be some changes in our disaster risk management.
for the disasters to go from the station and out to the accident faster, it would be to let them go through.
Yeah.
So I think one thing is the respect for the ambulance. When you see it, you have to move to the side and let it go through. That's one thing. Otherwise, wider
Wider
driveways, which is very difficult in such a big city. But I don't know. I'm not an engineer, so it's difficult. Yes, but there needs to be a way that they can go through faster because when it's this disaster response, every minute counts.
Yeah.
Yes.
So whatever is based on like you want this to happen because you believe this should be done, it's still hard when it's in a real life setting because there are a lot of factors that you have to consider.
Exactly.
Like you mentioned, widening of roads, respect for the emergency vehicles. It's a lot, and so far it hasn't taken a toll on you guys. Like you just realized now. You just realized that Denmark seems a safe place rather than no offense to my own country, but like the realizations like Denmark seems like it's a safe haven rather than here in the Philippines. Or do you have that kind of notions in your head?
That is more safe in Denmark, you
Yeah.
think? Or
We have
That's a really hard
it's a
question.
really hard question. Yeah.
So,
But
yeah.
actually, I don't think you can compare these two things because, like, the nature is so different in the Philippines. So you live with a higher risk in some way. Yeah, so it's difficult to compare these two things. Yeah. But our experience with the society is so good. People are so sweet and
So
nice.
friendly.
That's very nice to
It would be better
experience.
to suggest so as not to delay response on risk management or rescue on some accidents is to have another road for ambulance. No?
Yeah,
That could be a
that
suggestion.
can be a
Open.
suggestion. Yeah.
Because you know how the traffic is. So we cannot also move. I have that experience. I'm also driving. You cannot move even if they will be blowing their horns.
Yeah.
Where will I go?
Yeah.
I cannot bump the car ahead of me. I cannot also right on because there are cars
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Everyone has to move.
Oh,
To make it happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in Denmark,
It's
the
not-
cars is driving up on the sidewalks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
They do everything to let the ambulance through.
But we
Yes.
we also do in Denmark have in the highway we have like an emergency
Street, no?
where no cars is allowed,
that's,
only if there's like an emergency.
Emergency
That's
and,
good.
and buses.
Yeah, that's really good.
Also
Yeah.
buses.
I think we can make a suggestion to that.
Yeah.
Just your citizen.
Yeah, we can give suggestions, especially now that it's election time. We are promising, making promises and then nothing happens.
I am leaving the country, don't worry. Anyway,
Okay, can you ask another question?
yeah, sure. I believe your internship is ending on the 26th, correct?
Yeah.
This month?
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And you'll be going back to Denmark now?
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yes. Can you please drop by the office before leaving?
Yes, of
Of
course.
course we
Say
will.
bye-bye.
Yes,
We
of
just-
course. Of course we will.
We also just talked about in the car on the way over here that we were so sad that we were leaving. Yeah.
We had, like, prior to this, we had I don't know if it's a program or like we had a project that we were supposed to work on, right? So unfortunately, schedules and such.
Yeah.
So besides that, like moving forward, like far-fetched in the future, what do you think is your best accomplishment here? What did you achieve here in the Philippines from your internship program?
Or what have you learned?
Oh, that's better. That's much more easier.
It's not easier because
There's a
we
lot
have
of
learned
traffic.
so much.
That's our problem.
Yeah. No, we have learned so much.
Yeah.
And it has been a crazy 2 months.
It's only two.
Yes,
Yeah.
only 2 months,
And
unfortunately.
they've been just going by so fast.
But we have been working with so many competent and knowledge people that has learned us so much stuff about the people, about the disasters. We've been on medical missions as well. We've been on trainings. We've been in court.
Yeah.
Good one.
Wow, I'm so overwhelmed by this trip because when I said yes to go to the Philippines, I didn't know what to expect. And
Were there
Yes.
any stories that were shared to you by some seniors that were able to do their internship here in the Philippines? Like any scary stories?
No, nothing.
they told some stories, but it's much better in reality. Like,
Yeah.
wow, I don't want to go home again.
Actually, we have many laws, but sometimes they are not implemented. Or sometimes our people are not following. And this is accidents involved. I don't know.
Yeah.
The ambulance. I remember once I was in a car. We were traveling to the north area. My goodness, the driver has a problem with hearing. So despite the fact that the ambulance is blowing the horn at the back. Just stop that. Boy, there's an ambulance at the back. I didn't hear it. It's another problem.
Yes,
And
of course.
we are so worried if what happened to the client or patient inside the ambulance because of the delay. Even fire. Have you also experienced about fire problems?
Actually, no.
Not,
Not here. Yeah.
accidents, and then what else? The other risk, other risks that you have encountered. No typhoon yet, no?
No type, yeah.
Mm.
No, mostly the trainings.
Trainings,
How to,
yeah.
prepare
Who
those.
conducted this training?
It's the capital for disaster risk reduction.
Our provincial capital?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All are foreigners being trained, or there are also like us Filipinos during the training?
It's like we're going to different LGUs, and in the LGUs there is the team they are training. And
So only Filipinos.
Yeah, only Filipinos.
yeah.
So it can be like the police and the responders at that place, and
The fire responders.
Yeah.
Fire responders,
yes.
yeah.
It's just this afternoon, there's I think fire in Busay. The area.
Okay.
There was a fire?
Oh.
So that's also another problem. People will lose their houses.
Mm.
And it will take time for the fire truck to respond. Sometimes, I have said, difficult to pass the road, especially mountain areas.
Yes.
So, this will, your question. Okay.
So probably be our last question. Since you're going back to your country after your internship program is going to be done, what could you say to future international interns, or specifically interns from University of Copenhagen, once they start their internship here in the Philippines? What could you give them as a guidance?
Yeah. Actually, we talked about it together before this interview, and we talked about that the most important thing is just to be open-minded and just participate in whatever there will come, because you can learn from everything, and even if it's not like with an organization, you can learn a lot about the culture, and that is very meaningful too. So that was a little bit about what we talked about.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Else you can advise
Yeah.
your friends who will be the next group will come to the Philippines for internship.
Yeah.
How about you, Ida?
what my advice would be, just first of all, do it. Go to the Philippines,
Yeah.
and
So you still encourage them to come here?
I would definitely do that. Yeah, I have very good experience with being here, so I would definitely do it again also. And just like to be open-minded, and just
I mean, the Philippines is a great example of a country which welcomes foreigners like us. I've never felt so welcome in another country I've ever visited. And it's a perfect opportunity for internship because you are so well speaking in English. So it makes it easier for us to work and communicate with all of you. So I would always recommend the Philippines. Yes.
So we'll be thankful if another group will still choose Philippines.
There is already a new
And
group.
Still,
Yes.
and will still choose Luing, no?
Yes.
Because as far as Luing is concerned, it's also difficult work.
Yes.
These are advocacy.
Yes.
Especially we, members of the Board of Trustees, we don't receive salary. This is just to help them, so we can be of help. And
Yes.
with more reason about disaster,
Yes.
how we will be treated, how
Yes.
we have to respond.
Exactly.
So, matapos na ang atong kan karon, mubalik lang sa matas kababayan-an human pipila ka pahinungdon.
Discover the beauty of the Philippines. country's flag carrier. The airline that lets you feel the warmth of the nation. Mabuhay!
Sorry ma'am, na-late ko. Nangita ko mong gusto para internet sa kong anak ma'am.
Ay, wala na yung problema. Pag-sinisibo!
For your internet connection.
And for the signal of your cable TV.
So fast and straight that transmission to your home.
Sinisibo!
Offers you to have fiber optics.
For your viewing experience, perfect and clear so far.
So great and affordable for you to enjoy.
Cine Cebu Television Network Incorporated offers fiber to the home broadband internet bundled with fiber to the home cable TV connection. Cine Cebu Television Network Incorporated with its operation in Metro Cebu and the whole province of Cebu soon.
And affordable for you to enjoy.
Sinisibo! Balik ta sa itong programang sa Matas, Kababayen-an. Kay English man to terdang, ato na narawa mo kaayo ka sabot, akong i-recap ang ilang mga sulti. Kani sila mga interns, nalo sila sa rest and disaster, dili good more. Pero na ako no sila sa luing, bisan rest and disaster kay ilang mag-feel po, unsa ang pag-rescue sa mga babae, mga pamilya, mga igo sa mga disaster like bagyo, sa lunok, sa linog, mga nang ilang. Nya, maulagi nakakita sila, nag-undergo man po na sila mga training here, nagipakita ang unsaon na to pag-respond sa mga rescue, mga rest nato din na mga disaster. Pero another thing nga ilag yung nakita, which I absolutely agree, kanang ang ambulansya bang maglisod pag-response, immediate response sa mga tao nga na-undergo og accident. Nga naman, kay traffic kaayo ang atong daan. Bisan pag simbatuan na sila sa ambulansya, di good mo balhin. Tapos Germany ko na sila separate the road para agian sa ilang ambulance. O kung makadungog, uga man, mo separate din ang mga sakyanan. Ato din di good. Kaya di mapunta ka Cebu. Man, I think katong nice suggestion na, may tali natay separate the road na para gid sa ambulance kasi kung doon ay mga disaster, doon ay mga aksidente, maka-response dayon ang atong ambulance. Nya, ingon sila, but however, na may na sila nag-training na sila sa Aero, para LGU, and they have learned so much. But one thing that I like, na ilang na obserbahan is how Filipinos should treat foreigners. Ganahan ko na sila, kay buotan ang mga Pilipino, and they're so happy na ma-entertain dito nila. I hope na nalingaw sila sa ilang stay there, kaya mulaga na biya ko sila, muuli na nato sa Germany. But ang mga doon nag-comparison sa itong country sa ila kay murag minus ang ilang nga disaster. Kita na tayo bagyo, na tayo lunok, na tayo linog, na tayo kung vulkan ng buto. Kana yung lunok karong grabe. At sa ilang minus kaayo, wala. Wala, at least i-share sila dire na unsa ang pagtabang ko nato. And hopefully maka-learn sa ilang country aron kita mo ang minuto. Okay? So, mauto ang akong gikuan. Pats, you still have one question. Or let them ask questions.
Yeah,
Nato. Which change the scenario.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have any question to Pats?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Let's go.
What can you ask to Bas?
Yeah.
Well,
What does it give you guys to have us as an intern? You learned something.
So, the mere fact that we have international interns partnering with Law Center Inc., it gives us hope that we are actually being recognized outside. Despite it being handled by another NGO, your internship program, right? Being recognized to actually help you, despite it being really far from your actual course, it gives an insight that maybe sometimes, even for risk and disaster students, they always have to think outside the box. Like I remember earlier that you mentioned that you have to focus on the humanity of
victims.
the humanity in the victims, how to converse with them, how to handle them, and it's not so far-fetched from the psychology of how women that has been abused. So it's not in the same severity of how victims from disasters experience from how women were abused, but there is some sort of connection that you can actually try to find a way to converse, try to calm them regardless of what's going to happen. So with our interactions, with our planning, little by little from the next batch or so, we're trying to find a way to actually integrate any future international interns.
Hopefully it will increase our management and risk. But one thing I am happy to pass, Lueng is funded by the German bishops. Their government, the Ministerio, since 1996 until now. So at least the way that you choose Philippines, and also I think recognizing Lueng would be a great part for our funder, the Ministerio, the German bishops.
Of course.
And I hope that we'll be learning so much from this. Okay?
Yeah.
So it seems we have no more time. So we'll be asking your parting words to our viewers. Who will give first your parting words to our viewers? Because we end now this parting words, message to our viewers.
Thank you so much for letting us participate in this interview.
Anything you can say to our people?
I just want to say thank you, and thank you for you are so welcoming in your culture. It's so amazing to experience.
Thank you. Thank you. And then next, parting words to our viewers.
Also, thank you for having us here today, and it's been such an experience staying here in the Philippines, and you guys are very welcoming. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for letting us in your country. Thank you for the great food you brought us, especially the lechon. Yes, and thank you for being so nice to us, foreigners, and letting us in your culture. And so thank you.
Okay. But your parting words.
I'll be back in 6 months. I'm just kidding.
You're just bid you goodbye. Have a safe trip. Enjoy the three of you. Parting words or viewer thoughts?
We offer free legal consultation and psychosocial, and other interventions in Law Center. That's it. Thank you.
Kung di ni natapos ang ato programa, mapasalamaton kay Gudney sa pagdawat nila. No? Isagwa mo kasabot ako matong lirik ka pang ilang ipangsulti. But nakita ninyo og nakatong labi na itong makasabot sa ilang isulti. Nadakpo kay kalainan sa itong nasod, sa ilang nasod. Walang niya sila ni Tanaw, aron kupuli sa kaunta, mausab ng atong mga pagtanaw. Labi na yun sa mga subject sa reduction, sa risk, o sa mga disaster. Okay, kasagaran na, tarang na disaster. Karoon lang na, sunog, natay mga baha, natay bagyo, nanasakit ng kanin, nanasad tayo mga lumog, whatever, earthquake, mga nga hinaotong ta nga maparehata silang nasod na safe ang mga tao. But one thing that I like is that they really admire how they are being treated by Filipinos, especially sa atong food. Ganahan sila sa litson, at least. But mumbit sa nila goodbye because they will be leaving our country. And hopefully, kung napa sila mga interns, we can still come to the Philippines, so we will be learning more yung sa nato pag tubag ang mga kalamidad din sa atong nasod. We are so thankful for your acceptance today, and hopefully you have a nice stay here in our country. But we beg you to buy, but before going home to Germany, please drop by at the office so we can say bye-bye.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Because we will miss you.
Yeah.
And
We'll miss you too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with Pags. Drop by the office before leaving for US. Okay.
Yeah.
Mapasalamaton kay Minnie Tatay Dudong na naidayan ng tuwa paghatag ng programa kasi daghan ka share na pinakaroon na tungod sa risk and reaction sa mga disaster. Padayon mo pagsunod sa programa kay doon na pamiangay mga i-share ninyo na ang mga balaod, ang mga bisita o sa ilang ka-share ninyo. Mag-uban na sab kita sunod Martes po sa alas 3:30 at sa alas 4:30. Ini sa Channel 47 sa CCTN. Dako ang mo salamat sa among funders, ang ilang gobyerno, ang German bishops na bayan na o tabangan na sa German government. Kaya kung wala ning funders, wala sa ang luin. Kaya dili man ni empleyado sa gobyerno, NGO man ni. Since 1996, ang miseryor ang nag-fund ng mga German bishops in coordination with their government, sa German government. Salamaton sa ni sa luing kay kung wala sa nang wala man sa mga programa sa mga tas kababayan mga share namo unsa ang namang ibahin para sa katawhan na may bawang labi na sa mga abuses sa kababayan. Salamat sa ni sa among in charge sa training o sa media advocacy nga si Charity kay siya man ang mag-andam din sa programa. Patako lang pasalamat sa mga staff din sa luing sa CCTN na mag-abag na mo din yung karahapon sa Martes sa aming programa sa Natas sa Kababayen-an. Padayon mo pagsunod sa aming programa kaya kan pa i-share ninyo ng mga maayong balita, especially about laws. Karong gani daghan mo nakatunan unsa ang diferensya sa ilang gobyerno o sa atong gobyerno o sa ilang nasod o sa atong nasod. Padayon mo pagsunod. But before I will close, mo greet sa kuning Tatay Dudong, the owner of the CCTN. So, belated happy birthday Tatay Dudong, natong Sunday. Yung birthday natong Sunday Tatay. May God continue to shower you His bountiful blessings. Kay daghan kapag mabuhat para sa katawhan, especially sa imong mga programa related sa Ginoo. Ako sa Attorney Virginia Palangka Santiago, may God bless us all.